Hello everyone, Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. Today we're going to talk about making noise on Shabbat. What does that mean? What kind of noises you're thinking I'm talking about? Can you give me an example of sounds that are permitted or prohibited on Shabbat?
The shofar is you can sound.
You can?
You can't.
You cannot. Yeah. Correct. Shofar is absolutely prohibited on Shabbat. What about clapping?
If we do it in
whistling. Can I whistle? Moshe, can you whistle?
I don't know.
Even not during the week, right? You can't whistle, period. Can you?
In the week, in the house you can't.
What about playing music? An instrument, guitar?
No.
What about if it's not me? I hear it from a friend. Mukse. What about if the friend is non-Jew? And he wants to play it, there is a very happy time for a groom or a bride, Shabbat, and this guy is non-Jew, and he wants to play guitar. Can I hire him? Can he do it to me for free as a friend? Or it's permitted for him? He doesn't have to keep Shabbat. On the contrary, he can't keep Shabbat. I can pay him after Shabbat or before Shabbat. What about preparing a sound of alarm clock on Shabbat? So I can wake up early and go to the Torah class 9:30 on Shabbat. In the area you're saying yes. Okay.
But if you program it before.
I program it before.
Yeah.
Can I use this alarm clock, my phone alarm clock? Can I use that? Can I prepare or adjust it during Shabbat? It's not a digital one. There's no question, digital one. It's a mechanic one. Remember the old one?
Yeah.
The round, they wake up the whole neighborhood?
Yeah.
Right. So this one, it's mechanical, non-battery operated. I want to prepare it on Shabbat in the evening, at night, before I go to sleep.
For Shabbat or on?
For Shabbat, so I can wake up in the morning. Okay? Can I dance on Shabbat?
Dance?
Yes? Yes, he's saying. Why wouldn't I dance on Shabbat? There's any problem to dance on Shabbat?
No, there's no problem.
If I want to break the dance, like break dance, I'm kidding. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about all these topics, okay?
Okay.
You'll be very surprised today. Introduction. Our sages decreed that it is forbidden to play musical instruments on Shabbat for fear that an instrument might become damaged and the musician will repair it. Thus, performing an act of the melacha of makeh bepatish, makeh bepatish like hitting with a hammer, or like with drums or whatever. We'll see it Be'ezrat Hashem Sibo. I'm paraphrasing Shimon 302. Our sages extended this decree, forbidding us from even clapping hands or clapping one's thigh, like the people do, okay, to a beat. What does it mean? What does that mean, to a beat?
Beat?
A beat. Shir Amalo, something like that, okay? We'll see why. Even dancing is prohibiting for the reason that one might come to repair a musical instrument. It's going to bring drums, darbuka, and everybody started dancing. So we don't do that on Shabbat. So you want someone would jump with some instruments, some tool, you know. But you saw some synagogues, they do dance on Shabbat. That's what you wanted to say.
That's what I mean.
First of all, Simchat Torah, it's different day, special day, no problem. But Shabbat, it's a big issue. The Shulchan Aruch, but it's debatable among the rabbis. This is just introduction, okay? Yes.
Simchat Torah no is Yom Tov. Simchat Torah.
Simchat Torah, it's Yom Tov.
It's
Yom Tov.
Yes.
Simchat Torah, it's always during the week. Yeah. What I mentioned now, all these halachot, is also good for Yom Tov. Simchat Torah is never on Shabbat.
Never.
It's the only time we read the parasha on the weekdays. I mean, the Vezot HaBeracha, the last parasha of the Torah. It's always on the weekdays.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so the Tosfos in Beitza 30 years, it's in the Talmud, ruled that this decree that one might come to repair a musical instrument is no longer relevant, since nowadays people are not expert in repairing musical instruments. Therefore, all these activities are permissible for us on Shabbat. Okay, this is among the rabbis of the Talmud. But bottom line, on the halakha, Jewish law, yes or no? Therefore, nevertheless, nevertheless, the Shulchan Aruch ruled in Siman 339.3 that the decree of one might come to fix musical instruments apply nowadays as it always has. This is based on the ruling of Rabbeinu Yosef Kolon, who deduced from the writing of the Rav Hai Gaon that our sages' decree applies nowadays as well. Despite the fact that this decree is no longer very relevant, our sages taught that once a decree has been instituted, it remains in force even if the reasoning for it is no longer applicable. Therefore, the Shulchan Aruch ruled that it is forbidden to play instruments, to clap, or to dance on Shabbat. The Rama is for the Ashkenazim, the Rama, cited the reasoning of the Tosfot, but it does not appear that he relied on it in practice. He wished only to explain the common custom among Ashkenazic Jews to ignore these rules those who ignore this rule has some halachic basis. So you can see that Ashkenazim are a little bit lenient about it. And they do dancing on Shabbat in certain ways. Okay, we'll see all that. You know, people dancing, they get excited, they're going to get some drums or something, and that will lead to using a forbidden instrument on Shabbat.
This is Siman 336?
339, 38. Did I say 6? No, 39, right, 39. Now we are on 338 in Yalkut Yosef. It's called Hashma'at Kol. What's Kol in Hebrew? Ma? Kol.
Everything.
Okay, so you're both right, but let me explain. Kol with Chaf, with the letter Chaf, means everything. But Kol, Kuf, Vav, Lamed, means voice. Kol Gavoa, high voice. Kol Namuch, low voice. Kol Israel, it's only two letters, Chaf and Lamed, Kal. It means all Israel. Okay. First halacha. It is forbidden to make music with a musical instrument on Shabbat. In fact, it is forbidden to clap hands in a beat or rhythm. It is certainly forbidden to play musical instruments that use electricity or with an amplifier. So I'm not going to do, for example, I'm going to do this. Guys, please wake up. Hello, please pay attention. I'm not doing this during singing. I'm doing this clapping, regular clapping, not any different. Regular, to wake up someone, to get people's attention. Is that permitted or prohibited on Shabbat? Not with music.
But it's not part of the music, it's not part
It's
of
not.
the rhythm.
It's not.
Just the
It's not. So the question is, if clapping is forbidden, period, or clapping for music with a rhythm is prohibited.
Yeah.
Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
If at all it's permitted or prohibited.
And
So the halacha says it is permissible to clap hands on Shabbat in order to wake someone up, so long as one does not clap to a beat. It does not infringe on our sages' prohibition. So you can say, hello, wake up, hello, please pay attention, everybody. And don't do this. Hello, play, but because this is a rhythm.
yeah.
Regularly, yes.
What about knocking on the door?
Good question. We'll see it later because it will answer another question, knocking on the table. Because people are playing like that. Knocking on the table. Or taking the fork on the knife, doing it on the cups, on the plates, on Shabbat. They're imitating regular, instruments. Right? Okay. Gimel. Through. It is 3. Halacha 3. It is forbidden to clap hands in order to frighten away birds. Even if one, this is just an example of situation, okay? Even if one claps without any beat. This is a different institution of our sages and unrelated to the prohibition of music. In this case, they feared that if someone gets involved in chasing birds away, he might start throwing stones as well, and he will perform a melacha of carrying in the Reshut Arabim. Sometimes people are, the example that we have here is someone that is in charge or he was appointed to watch a big bag of, fruits and bread and food. It says, watch it here because there's cats around, there's birds. Watch it until we come back. And all of a sudden you see birds coming and gathering. So, when you're going to look for stones to hit them. And stones on Shabbat is muktzeh. Okay? This is just an example. It's nothing to do with music. Now, answering your question. Listen to this till the end. When singing at the table of Shabbat, on Shabbat, it is forbidden to bang on the table with a fork or a spoon to the beat of the song. It is permissible, however, to tap on a bottle or a glass with a spoon in order to gain the attention of others. So with a beat, no. But ding, 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 may I have your attention? Ding, 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 like people do, okay?
Yeah.
It's okay. Since this is not a musical accompaniment of any singing. Likewise, one may knock on a door with a key so that those inside will hear and open the door. So not only that it's permitted with your fingers, some doors has this metal part, right? Mm-hmm. That you are using them to make the sounds so people can hear better. What about people have a bell?
Yeah.
A bell next to the door.
It's electric.
It's electric, it's forbidden, right? What if it's not electric? You know the bell that I have in the entrance of my house? You know the small bell?
Really bell?
Ding, ding. The bell that I have in the entrance of my house. No, don't tell me you never notice it.
With the camera. You took about the camera.
No, by the gate from the alley.
Oh, it's a bell.
You didn't notice that?
No. Probably.
Shir Lamalot. How you didn't? Everybody noticed that. So come see it, okay?
Sorry.
You're welcome to see it, okay? Today. You're not welcome inside the house, just outside and you leave home, okay?
Just to test out the
Okay. When there is a big celebration, like wedding, people get excited and they're banging on the table during the singing. So it says the following: whoever is capable of protesting the practice many people have of beating silverware onto the table or plates to accompany the Shabbat singing should do so. Tell people, no, it's forbidden on Shabbat. There is no valid basis to be lenient in this matter, even when celebrating with a newlywed couple. People just get married. One who protests this practice fulfills a very important mitzvah. Now remember, with rebuking and telling people, giving people comments, you have to be careful. Before you rebuke someone, rebuke means to tell someone they did wrong, is you need to be in a level that you know the halacha and you practice it. I mean, you can't tell someone, why are you eating cheeseburger? It's forbidden. Eating meat and cheese together, and you yourself eating non-kosher and cheeseburger. Who will listen to you? Okay? So you need to be tzaddik, righteous in this matter. Secondly, if you want to make a comment, you don't do it in front of many people, just quietly. So it's another topic, how to rebuke someone. So someone says, okay, I can't clap, I can't do this. I just heard Dvar Torah, words of Torah on Shabbat from someone, either on the Shabbat table or any, any place you can imagine. The Rabbi or anyone else finishes words of Torah, and I want to clap. Chazak u'baruch, shkoyech, shkoyech, chazak. Can we do that on Shabbat? Halacha number 6. It is permissible to applaud someone after he has delivered a speech or sung a song. This is not clapping to a beat, and there is no prohibition against it. It's okay on Shabbat.
And what happened with bell?
The bell?
Yeah.
You tell me.
In your house.
You tell me.
But this, you have a tune.
What do you think?
You have a tune.
Prohibited. It's not permissible on Shabbat. The bell I have interest in my house, that cannot be used on Shabbat. It's an instrument.
It makes up music.
So it's some sort of music.
So you consider it's an instrument?
It is instrument.
Okay. Yeah.
This instrument, people playing it in orchestras, and concert or stuff like that. This one is just hang, or alike.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So, what about you want to silence someone, or to clap to get the attention of a baby?
Yeah, you can.
One may clap hands in order to calm down a crying infant. If one wishes to clap with a beat, one should clap one hand onto the back of the other hand and not in the manner that one normally claps. So he knows his baby. And you know that the baby only will come down with a song. Okay? So, what kind of a song, you sing to baby? I don't know. What kind of a shark, baby shark? I don't know what they sing. So let's say you want to do, I don't know. You can do with rhythm, just different. So you remember, this is Shabbat. You don't do this. You can do during the weekday on Shabbat. So the baby can relax. You can do it with a rhythm, just changing the way you normally do.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Oh. What about doing, what do you call this in English? Snapping your fingers. Can you do that? Can you do that, Sammy? Wow, Sammy is expert. What? Chantel! This is loud. Shee! Número uno. Okay. Likewise, it is permissible to snap one's fingers in order to entertain a baby, as long as one does not do so with a bit. Hello, baby, 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 like that. Okay. There are some people likes to call their friends by whistling or something like that. Oh my goodness. Can you do that on Shabbat? Michelle, can you do this? On Tuesday, can you do it?
Tuesday?
Do it, whistle. You can't? Can you do that on Shabbat? Whistling. It is permissible to whistle to call people's attention on Shabbat, since no instrument is used. It is no difference. I don't know why it says use it. It is no different than singing, and it is permitted. Anyone who refrains from whistling on Shabbat will receive a special blessing from heaven. Those who live a Torah lifestyle refrain from such whistling during the week as well. I remember when I was a child, I just started to whistle. I like to whistle. This is me, I'm sorry. But I just start. My parents both, hey, don't do that. What is it? I mean, it's not appropriate. You know, the old school, they won't let you whistle. It's not appropriate. I know the people on how do you call them? On the sea, on the boat. If you whistle, you bring like a bad mazal, or they're afraid that you awake some forces in the sea, the sirena, or you know what sirena is?
Yeah, mermaid.
Mermaid. By the way, the Talmud speaks about them. And Rashi brings it. They exist. According to the Judaism, they exist. So they're afraid that you awake some sort of power. Anyways, according to the halakha, if you can refrain from such behavior, even during the week, it will be more appropriate. Okay? But on Shabbat, it's permitted. Okay.
Rabbi, sorry, why is it not good to whistle?
It's called in the Hebrew language. It's called Zelo. It's not derech, the way of Bnei Torah, the people that represent Torah. It's more like the street, you know. It's like you should
less
be
etiquette, less class.
less class, exactly. It's not classy. It's not manners. You're like from the way of the people in the street and the market act. Hey, you know. So Ben Torah, I remember we never did that around our Rabbi in the yeshiva. Oh, forget it. You don't even you don't talk loud next to your Rabbi. Definitely not to whistle. But among our friends, we whistle all the time, especially when we're playing games, soccer. You know, but this is a game. You know, if you can refrain from that, you get a special blessing. You show an extra respect for Shabbat. Okay, next. Oh, listen to this. You'll be surprised. It is absolutely forbidden to play. The next two halachot, it was debatable among the rabbis, because some rabbis said it's permitted on Shabbat. It is absolutely forbidden to play musical instruments or to ring bells on Shabbat, even if it is so to enhance the celebration of a newlywed couple. Although the Rama for the Ashkenazim, wrote that nowadays, since We are not expert in making musical instruments. There may be some basis for those who are lenient in all these things. He was refraining to clapping and dancing only. Okay? Heaven forbid that any posek, any rabbi, would rule that it is permissible for a Jew to play musical instruments on Shabbat. One must protest anyone who practices leniently in this matter. Where is, by the way, all these come from? Playing instrument on Shabbat? They did. When?
In the temple.
Huh?
The temple.
In the temple.
Levine.
The Levim. So people thought they can do that at home. You need to understand the temple, the Beit HaMikdash, it's a different zone. It's a different area. It have its special rolling. It runs differently.
Yeah, in Shabbat the fire was on the temple.
Right.
Yeah.
And that too. So you can't learn from the temple to your own house. We act differently. Okay. So the next one is a little bit surprising. One should refrain. Okay, it says basically in the Hebrew, it says should be strict. I mean, there's some lenient, but it should be strict. One should refrain from instructing a non-Jew to play musical instruments at a mitzvah celebration on Shabbat, meaning that it was, some opinions, permitted. The celebration, newlywed, a bride and a groom, we're singing for them, and non-Jew was playing the instruments. We don't play, we don't touch it. And even if the instrument use no electricity. Therefore, one may not instruct a non-Jew to play musical instruments on Simchat Torah. Because some hold that it's a special day, special celebration, we can use that instrument played by Jews in order to increase the joyful of that day. A Jew may not even so much as tinkle a bell. Nevertheless, it is permissible to instruct a non-Jew to play in honor of newlywed couple. Shulchan Aruch. This leniency is based on the principle that shvut de shvut b'mkom mitzvah is permitted. Instructing a non-Jew is normally forbidden by our sages, and playing musical instruments is normally forbidden by our sages as well. In this case, they're permitted this for the mitzvah of celebrating the new couple's joy. So what the halacha says? Can a non-Jew play for a wedding, Shabbat? The Sheva Brachot? It looks like it's okay. It's permitted. Right? But nevertheless, this was not permitted for the other mitzvahs celebrating, such as circumcision or Simchat Torah. You won't find it today, a case that we're celebrating a newlywed couple with an instrument, drums or violin or guitar. It's not common. People more strict about it. It's if it's forbidden in all cases. Because people will learn if that's okay, so someone's celebrating bar mitzvah, if it goes okay, or bat mitzvah, or another occasion, it's going to cause a mess. Okay. I remember a guy that told me that he came first to Dallas, and he was looking for a synagogue, so he was looking on the internet, and he found the place. And he said, as soon as he came in, it looks a little bit strange. On Shabbat, well, when they start to play music, he understands that he's in some sort of a reform or messianic. I don't remember what he told me. A messianic synagogue or messianic church. Yeah, you have to be very careful. Some places will call themselves synagogue, the Sana synagogue. Okay. The other day, someone wants to give donation to Ohev Israel Foundation. So he went to the internet. He says, Rabbi, are you Messianic? I said, I'm Messianic, chas v'shalom. What do you mean? And he said, what is this picture? I said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm looking at your website. So what website? So young Ohev Israel. It turns out there is another Ohev Israel, but this is with Y. My Ohev Israel is with I. So you have to be careful. It's the same, but instead of I for Israel, it's with Y. You can look it up later. Oh, you know some stores or some houses has by the door a bell. Anytime you open or close, it'll make a sound, bling, 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 right? Especially store owners, they're in the back, they're in the storage, they want to hear if someone comes. Now, I'm about to enter that such place, and I see the bell. And I know as soon as I open, the bell will make the sound. Can I enter such house? Can I open the door? It is permissible, it's okay to open a door even if it will cause chime, call it a chime, right? A chime to ring, as it is open. And even if it sounds melodies or melodious, it makes some sort of a special tune. This does not infringe on the prohibition of mashmiya kol, making sounds on Shabbat. Nevertheless, if the owner will remove the bell from the door before Shabbat, he will receive a special blessing from heaven.
So, do you mean that the things that is hanging, you have a tube, some tubes with the
Mostly
wing?
for decoration, I think.
Yeah.
The one that he's referring to.
I don't understand the question. You asking a question?
Yeah, so do you mean we're talking about these things as well?
What do you mean as well?
The ones that people put outside, they're like little tubes.
No, by the wing. Be patient. Okay. If there is an electrically powered bell that rings whenever the door is open, it must be turned off or removed before Shabbat in order to avoid causing Shabbat desecration when the door is open. Talking about the electrical one. Talking about playing with bells. I saw many places that are playing bells on Shabbat in front of everybody. Where is it? Imagine to yourself, Shabbat morning, Sefer Torah has been taken out of the ark, and what's on the top of the Sefer Torah? Bells.
Oh.
It is a universal custom to adorn the Torah scroll with bells that tinkle whenever the scroll is moved. This does not infringe in the prohibition of mashmiya kol, making sounds. However, one may not ring the bells on purpose, even on Simchat Torah, since they are similar to musical instruments. Those who are lenient in this must cease such a practice. So as long as you're carrying the Sefer Torah, it's okay. But if you take off the bell and start to sing like that, it's prohibited. It's not okay. Why you even have these bells over the Sefer Torah? Because there is a special halacha that says if a Torah pass by you, you must stand. If you don't stand, you didn't give respect. When Sefer Torah, a book of Torah, passing by you, it says in the Torah, it shortens one's life. You don't give respect to the Torah from Shabbat, you don't give respect to your life. So anytime you have to, from a distance, you see it, you got to stand up. So why they make this bell? So people, sometimes they focus on the Siddur. They focus on the Torah. They don't pay attention. But now they hear the sound, oh, Sefer Torah is here, so they will stand. So that's the main purpose. But now taking the bell and singing with it, this is not permitted on Shabbat. Okay?
Rabbi, the clothes of the Kohen Gadol, they have a bell, a pomegranate. The bells make a noise.
Yes, at the bottom, make noise. I told you, Bet HaMikdash is different.
Yeah.
Parochet, you see this parochet, the cloth you have behind me? In some synagogue has bells in them. If there are bells suspended from the parochet, it's the curtain that it's on the ark, in many shuls. The curtain suspended in front of the synagogue ark that tinkle as the curtain is drawn to open the ark. It is not necessary to remove them before Shabbat. The purpose of this bell is to alert the congregation that the ark is being opened, not to play music. So people give respect and they stand when they talk. Let me give you a tip. They asked Rabbi Kanievsky, Pastor Bay, may his merit will be for a protection for all of us. Zchuto tagen aleinu. What is the best time when the gates of Shamayim are opened to ask for your private things? Parnasa, kids, speedy recovery, you name it. He says on Shabbat, of course Yom Tov, when they open the ark and the Sefer Torah is be taken out, as long as the ark is open, this is when the gates in Shamayim open. Similarly to that congregation. Take advantage. Sometimes it's less than a minute. It's really quickly. It's really quick. Okay? I don't know if you're familiar with this instrument. This instrument is called kolan. You know Aviran from the synagogue? He has this instrument. It's like one handle, and then it comes like the letter H coming out of it. Long one. Okay? And what they do, in order, you saw it? And then they bang on it, ding, and then you hear, oh, and then you can adjust your voice accordingly. So some cantors, before they sing, they use it during the week. Something like that, okay?
Wow.
That was pretty good, thank you. So, some cantors use a tuning fork. Okay, that's the name. A tuning fork to help them to sing on the correct key. They wrap it and draw it close to the ears to hear the tune. A truly God-fearing cantor will refrain from using a tuning fork on Shabbat or Yom Tov. If a cantor asks whether he may use a tuning fork on Shabbat, the rabbi must instruct him that it is forbidden. If a cantor has decided on his own that he may use a tuning fork, it is not necessary to protest, since he has a halachic basis upon which to rely. Because many other rabbis permit that, it's better not to get into an argument. Wow, I didn't even get to the... Okay, one more halacha for today. Continue this Be'ezrat Hashem next week. One may flick the switch of a mechanical alarm clock on Friday night so that it will ring in the morning. All these action does is that it removes the obstruction from the clock hammer so that it can strike the bell. One may not flick the switch of a battery operated alarm clock. Bottom line, if you have the mechanical clock, you can adjust it on Shabbat. I want to wake up 6 o'clock. You can adjust it 6 o'clock. And then put it on, so it will ring. And you can even fill it up. Add more, right, to give it more power when it rings. Because it's mechanical. Okay? It's permitted on Shabbat. And you can turn it off on Shabbat. About setting up the phone, I don't know about you, I have it on my phone. Okay? Alarm clock. It's very convenient because it's next to you. And you can adjust and set up many times the clock. 6 o'clock, 6:05, 6:10, 6:15, 6:14, 6:30, whatever. So make sure you wake up. You can use it on Shabbat on the condition that you fix it before, set it up before Shabbat, and put it in a distance far enough so accidentally on the morning you won't take it or whatever you put it and mess with it. You make the sound, it will turn off by itself. You have to set it up before, it's really easy. But if it's in a distance, it's okay. Otherwise, automatically what you do, like you do every morning, you're going to turn it off on Shabbat. If you do that, it's permitted on Shabbat. Okay? The next topic will be, we're going to finish it with clapping and dancing on Shabbat. Any questions so far? When I wish you on behalf of Ohev Israel, Ken.
I'm sorry. So on Shabbat, I'm a little confused about making the tune when we sing on Shabbat. Can we make a tune with our hands?
Okay.
When we are.
Okay, so according to Yalkut Yosef, it's prohibited, no. Ashkenazim are lenient, and some other community lenient. But Sephardi should be more strict about it. On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank you for gathering here. We'll see you here, Bezrat Hashem, on Shabbat, 9:30 in the morning, and Bezrat Hashem next week, Tuesday. Shavua Tov.